Hey, what's up? I'm Alan. I play guitar and sing in 4 Years Strong. We just started our Analysis Paralysis headlining tour, which is our new record that just came out a couple months ago. And this is some of the gear we're playing on the tour. We got a couple. This has been one of my main guitars since I got it, really, when I was like 13 years old. It's a American Fender Strat. I believe it's called the Texas Special, which is the pickup configuration, which I have modded a little bit. This is a DiMarzio Super Distortion, and I've eliminated this middle pickup here and moved my tone and volume for this pickup down so that this guy, because I was hitting my pinky on the volume knob when I'm doing like palm muting and stuff, so I just got rid of that. And this tape here, I always get asked questions about this piece of tape, like, because it is actually functional. It could have been fixed in an easier way for sure, but these screws were like rounded, and when I was picking on this, I feel like I was always hitting it. So we just taped it so that we just took the screw out. So this pickup is just kind of dangling in there and isn't wired, and that keeps it from falling out. And it's been there for like a decade, like that. I'm maxed out on this all the time. I don't even know why I have that. Never use that. I use some volume swells, but not very often. We use Ernie Ball strings, and they're custom gauges. Like, it's not a pack. Because we like to play pretty light on the top and heavy on the bottom, because we tune to D standard most of the time, and we have a couple songs in drop C. So I believe the gauges are 11, 14, 28, 36 or 38, 52, 60. I believe that's right, somewhere around there. I know this one's 60. And I know this one's 11. The rest, see what Dan says, see if they match up. But yeah, that's that guy. Other one that I got more recently that I've been loving a lot is this late 80s HM Strat, which I believe stands for heavy metal. And they were like going for the metal thing. I don't know if it was the hair metal days or like what they were doing, but it fucking rocks. And I love playing it. It has this is actually, I had to replace the neck because I did snap the truss rod on the first one, which I did prefer that neck because it was maple. I love my maple necks, especially on Strats. And I had to replace that, and this was the only one because it's a very particular like neck slot on this guitar, and the radius is like the flattest. It almost feels like a 7-string neck, which is strange, but in a good way. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I did a similar control mod, same thing. Didn't want to hit that, and on this one I actually just got rid of tone entirely because I never touch it. So I just have a volume to control this pickup, and it does have a coil tap thing in there that I also never use, and I should have just also got rid of it when I modded it, but instead we did the high-tech mod with the gaff tape to keep it humbucker, not single coil. You know what? I don't know what that pickup is because it's just what's been in here since I got it. And it sounds awesome. I don't know what it is. And it's got the collar bridge in there, which I also just fully replaced because the other one was the same. It was identical model, but just everything was stripped out on it, and we were having so many problems with it. Same with these, were original, we just recently replaced because everything was just, it was its time. But yeah, this one is super fun to play. Same strings, same tuning. This one stays in D standard just because of the locking stuff. It's annoying to switch back and forth. Yeah, the couple songs, we start the set in drop C. So that one I have in drop C. This one stays in D standard. So the first D standard song we play, and then I play this for like a little more than half the set, and then I switch back to that one because we play another drop C towards the end of the set. So honestly, for the last handful of years, I played one guitar the whole set. Like, I never switch because, knock on wood, I don't break a lot of strings on stage. Dan breaks strings all the time. But I've been able to run one guitar for the whole set for most of our career. Now we have a bunch of new songs and different tunings, so that's the main reason we do the switch. Otherwise, I would just play one guitar. This is my amp, if that's what you can call it. It's a Neural Quad Cortex, and I'm still figuring it out as much as the rest of the world are because it's so new. But really, I'm just using it as an amp with a couple internal effects. I guess most of my effects are internal. The only external stuff I have going on is I'm running a noise gate, which I have the effects loop running so that, hold on, let's see if I can explain this as if I actually know what I'm talking about. The signal starts on our guitar. We have to split the signal, so one goes through the chain per use, and one goes as a key input for this Fortin Zool is the name of it. It's one of the greatest pedals we've ever added to all three of us use it because it's just like the most musical / accurate gate we've ever found. We used it in the studio with Will Putney, who introduced us to the pedal, and it's like the most important thing on the board because it just makes everything so tight. It lets stuff ring through when you want it. It gates really tight when you want it to. And yeah, obviously that's so. Then the effects loop is running out of in and out in that, and I place the effects loop after my dirty stuff internally and before my wet stuff, if you know what I mean. And the other external thing is I have this death knob, which is just a HM2 EQ thing, so it just kind of has that mid-range bump, which I just put in there for certain heavy parts. I pop it on manually. I don't have it running through any kind of loop on here or anything. The amp I'm using is the like 5150 vibe, the EVH EL34, and those are my settings, which I'm kind of tweaking day to day because I did spend when we first got these, me and Dan spent a day like with our rig that we've been using for years and this kind of back to back so we could try and match it as best as possible. And as far as routing, it's crazy because I do have some additional overdrive going pretty much all the time. I have my effects loop running to the gating, and I have modulation, reverbs, delays, and stuff. Kind of, I'm using it in scene mode. So I have one page that is like everything, and all of these are, I have them labeled. I got my no effects, which is just nothing. Clean chorus verb, clean octave verb. That's my acoustic, which is really just another clean tone. Just an octave, chorus an octave, reverb. And I've kind of figured out I can do most of the set with that. I have one other page for one song because it's all clean. I don't have any, it's a newer song called Maybe It's Me. So that's that, and one other page because basically I just didn't have enough room to get one thing I wanted, which is just chorus without my gating on, because I have a guitar solo in it, and I didn't want it to cut off because sometimes the gate will cut off some of the like pinch harmonics and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. The only other interesting thing is we have a split going, because one thing is going to a cab with a power amp, and one thing is going to front of house and our in-ears. So I have to split after a certain point for one out to have no IR and one out to have the IR that's going to our ears in front of house, so that it's consistent each night. For power, I'm using the Strymon, what do they call it? Zuma. That just covered a lot of the... At one point I had a bunch of Strymon stuff going on before I was using all this internal effects. And it was just easiest to get like the right power for that. And these are really great. I have a couple of them at the studio as well. This DI looking thing is basically just our input from our guitar wireless. So so this kind of becomes the start of my guitar signal. You know, like my guitar is going into the wireless system, out of that, into this, out of that, into my guitar in. So if I wanted to not play wireless, I would basically just plug my guitar directly into there. And classic Boss TU3. That's, I think, everything on the board. We're using this Seymour Duncan power amp, the Power Stage 200, which is great. That's what powers our cabs, because we like having just pushing some air on stage. And sometimes I use the EQ on it, sometimes I don't. It kind of depends day to day. That's what's nice about this thing, is you can kind of just, you don't have to go changing anything in your settings on the Quad Cortex, especially because we're not miking this. This is kind of just for the people in the front row that are like not like in front of the PA stacks. So like, yeah, that, and it's for us. So I can adjust that a little bit day to day. This is my trusty orange 412 that, I mean, we've been touring with these for a long time. And they're just, you know, V30s, classic. I pretty much always have V30s. I've tried other things, and I just always end up going back to V30s. Can't go wrong. We are traveling with our own vocal mics. We got this guy, and it's just a SE V7, and it's been freaking great. And it smells good too. So, been keeping up with them pretty good. Pretty durable. Picks are Tortex. They're the greens, basically, which I believe are the 88.88 or whatever. But we've been using those for as long as I can, since I started playing guitar. Other than when I was just like, once I could choose what pick I liked, instead of just using whatever someone happened to let me use because I didn't have one. Been going with the Dunlop greens, or Tortex, you know. But now they are fancy and say our names on them. So that's it for my gear, I think. And hopefully that was helpful for anyone who was interested in this kind of thing. Be sure to check out our new record, Analysis Paralysis, on Pure Noise Records, and any other of our music, I guess.